Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Elyria City Council meeting for Monday, March 16th, 2026. I would ask that you please turn your cell phones off or to the silent position out of respect for council chambers. We'll have a moment of reflective silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Sarah, would you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, may we have roll call, please?
Yes, Madam President. Mr. Sarah.
Here.
Mr. Van Warmer.
Here.
Mr. Armstrong.
Here.
Ms. Rothgary.
Here.
Ms. Davis.
Here.
Mr. Tollett.
Here.
Mr. Lippian.
Here.
Mr. Oswald.
Here.
Mr. Doney.
Here.
Mr. Schneider.
Here.
Ms. Mitchell.
Here.
Everyone present.
Mr. Clerk, do we have any public hearings?
We have one. Notice of public hearing. You're hereby notified that a public hearing will be held on Monday, March 16th, 2026 at 7 p.m. to consider the following. An ordinance amending certain provisions of Elyria Codified Ordinance Part 11, Planning and Zoning Code to be effective May 1st, 2026. This proposed zoning code will result in the rezoning of all parcels within the city of Elyria.
Are there any proponents?
Thank you, Council President Mitchell and members of City Council for the opportunity to speak on the proposed zoning code. Tonight, I'll be giving a brief overview of this process as well as what has been addressed in the update. This process began with the comprehensive plan in 2022. The City of Elyria contracted with MS Consultants for the adoption of a comprehensive plan and with a sub-consultant, ZoneCo, to assist with drafting the proposed zoning code. The comprehensive plan component included various public engagement opportunities, including a kickoff meeting and tour, open house, 4 steering committee meetings with representatives of a cross-section of community members, an online survey, community walking tours, 4 of them, and participation at various community events, including the MLK Day presentation and Third Thursdays in the summer of 2023. These public engagement opportunities did not solely cover the comprehensive plan, but also included the opportunity for residents to help steer the proposed zoning code as it was being drafted. Once the comprehensive plan was adopted by City Council in 2024, the city offered additional public meeting opportunities in November 2024, February 2025, and May 2025. Notices for this round of public meetings was advertised in the utility bill, sent to all residents, social media posts and videos, the Chronicle Telegram, flyers at local businesses and churches, and the community calendar on the City of Elyria website. While the proposed zoning code does deviate from our current zoning code, it aligns with the goals of our comprehensive plan, provides further flexibility and use to alleviate hardships felt by homeowners and businesses in the community, and strives to balance economic development with retaining the character of the community. While the proposed zoning code modernizes our existing approach to zoning, societal trends are ever-changing, and the goal is for this to be a living document that is continually amended as it is standard practice in peer communities. Providing revisions will be standard practice moving forward as times do change, and adapting to trends is often necessary to make genuine, lasting progress. As the last significant update to the City of Elyria zoning code was completed in 1998, several concerns have not been addressed in recent years. Within the proposed zoning code, language has been included to address breweries, vape stores, daycares, short-term rentals, accessory dwelling units, chickens, front yards on corner lots, parking minimums, just to name a few. City staff believes we have proposed a logical compromise that addresses various opinions throughout the community. As no zoning code can be deemed perfect, what is proposed is aligned with the community feedback, provides much-needed updates to our aging zoning code, implements uses that are currently unaddressed, and promotes housing diversity to address concerns of affordability within the community. I'm sure many of you have become accustomed to my lengthy presentations on this topic, but to summarize, I believe many of the components of the proposed zoning code have been thoroughly discussed. Tonight, I will defer to addressing any comments and concerns provided by the public or council members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schoening. Law Director Deary?
Just, are there any other proponents?
I can't hear.
Any other proponents?
I know that.
Oh,
Do
no,
I
I
have-
don't have
I
anything
thought you had
further.
something to say.
Nope,
Okay.
my apologies.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Are there any proponents? Are there any opponents? Please come up to the microphone. Give your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Council. Kevin Krischer, 339 Fifth Street. So I guess I want to say I'm a lifelong resident. I'm 51 years old now. I know the ins and outs. Been up here, been there, been over there at the courthouse. I know all about this. So anyways, our community members, our neighborhood members have been going to these meetings ever since they started. Went in the cities, their recommendations went in one year and out the other. The city did not take the community's residents' recommendations. Then, landmarks approval, I should say, I'm sorry, this is for the historic district. This is the West Avenue Historic District. So the other problem is, so the city says they're for preservation, but they do not have landmarks, how do I say this, approval of this. It fell through the cracks, unfortunately, with the time and everything. Then it went to a planning commission. Most people go to the planning commission 11 a.m. I bet you most of these people out here, most of these people up here, you're at work at 11 a.m. for planning commission. So that fell through the cracks. So this is the last stop on this. So we shouldn't even be here. But unfortunately, so we do not, this downtown, the West Avenue Historic District does not want businesses next to residential homes. We want to be a R1, a residential neighborhood, just like Washington Avenue or any other nice neighborhood. I drove through downtown Elyria today, counted 20 empty storefronts, and that's without the upstairs of 2-3 floors. This is unneeded and just opening the door for problems in the neighborhood. So we're asking City Council to make a motion to go from downtown residential to R1. That's all we're asking, because I don't think anybody up here would want a business next to their home that potentially it's going to be problems, okay? So we're just asking politely that we just want to be a R1 and not a downtown residential area. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any opponents? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, Matt Swab, 503 West Avenue. Yeah, I'm against the zoning for the West by the River District become a downtown residential zoning. So in every public hearing that the city planner talked about, we had a representative of our district there. Not one resident requested a zoning change. And he said a little bit ago, We were told this is to modernize the code. We live in a historic district. We don't need a modern code. We need our code to stay the same, residential. And to discuss this living document. So it's a living document. You can change this at any time. I ask that you leave us alone, leave us at residential. When downtown is thriving and bursting at the seams, then come talk to us. Then let's talk about downtown residential. So under the current zoning, this neighborhood has experienced improvements not seen in any other neighborhoods, any other established older neighborhoods in Elyria. While others are falling into ruins and out-of-state landlords, our neighborhood trend has been shifting to single-family occupation from multifamilies. And like Kevin said, I ask that someone on council stand up for us and make an amendment to have West by the River stay as residential R1. And I also want to just make a statement on the corridor as a corridor zoning that you have planned as well. So a few years ago on Cleveland Street, council voted against opening a restaurant due to the disruption that it may cause surrounding homes. Now you're willing to zone multiple streets and properties to allow the same thing that you denied a few years ago? And then Cleveland Street is already a corridor. Now I ask, is that so appealing of how you want the city to look? Abbey Road, Broad Street? I don't want Middle Avenue. I don't want businesses all the way down to 16th Street on Middle Avenue either. That's too close to our neighborhood as well. We want businesses in appropriate areas. A neighborhood is not an appropriate area for a business. Protect our neighborhoods, please.
Thank you. Are there any opponents? I'm sorry. Thank you.
I'm Jennifer Bulick. I'm at 418 West Avenue. My husband and I stand behind everything our neighbors say. We bought the house in the historic district because we wanted to help preserve it and save it and bring it back to the way it was. My brother-in-law bought the house across the street. I think it's 413. He's on his way here in a U-Haul right now, and he wants the same thing we want. And then we hear about all this, and it's very disturbing. And in the beginning, we heard that there was a plan to leave the West Avenue Historic District alone in all of this zoning. And after the first meeting, nobody heard anything about it again. And we would like to be left alone where we can bring it back and restore and do what we want to do in the historic district. That's why it's a historic district. We want residential one. We want the businesses downtown to thrive and boom, and we will continue to patronize every one of them. But we want our residences left alone.
Thank you.
Madam President,
We
there's
have one other person.
Yep.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Tom Aiden, 307 West Avenue. So I've been a resident for, I'm going to give my age away, 50 years this year. I can't believe it, you know? And when I moved here, I didn't know anything. Not that I know a lot now, but our neighborhood was zoned MR3 at that time, which I don't know if any of you guys even heard of that. And I was the reason I kept on talking to Jerry Klein and Community Development, Carol Naraki, and saying we really, every single property in that neighborhood was non-conforming. And what that was, well, you needed 1 acre for redevelopment, 2 acres for new development. And the wisdom of our council at that present time thought that if we built 10-story high-rises all downtown in our neighborhood, that it would revitalize downtown. So I'm the one that was pushing that ball up the hill to get the zoning changed to single family. And I'm sure most of you guys know that I don't support exactly what's going on, you know, and I agree that you know, and I'm really an American, you know what I mean? Like, your voice makes a difference. But I was at a lot of those meetings, and our voice, and I thank the mayor. I want to just come out and thank the mayor, because that's the reason things got changed at Planning Commission. Our voices might have been written down, hey, Tom Aiden attended, but it didn't have one effect on the outcome until the mayor spoke up. And I really appreciate that, truly, in my heart. So I'm asking, but I know you're not going to listen. You're still going to go and get this thing voted. But I still had to just be on the record to say that I think it's a mistake, the corridor on Middle Avenue. I remember, I think it was Mr. Doning or somebody said, maybe it was just Chris, and Chris, a really nice guy, I like him. This is nothing personal either, you know? Middle Avenue, businesses, it's zoned, you know, do you know what it's zoned now? It's zoned downtown business to 8th Street, and then it's neighborhood business from 8th Place south. So we haven't had that development when all that zoning is totally wide open. It was even more open than corridor is. And then the businesses south of 8th Place, it's the Polish Club. There's really only one. That's it. I just don't understand the sense behind it all. But thanks for listening to me. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Aden. Good evening. Please give your name and address for the record.
My name is Brad Pohl. I own 281 and 285 South Logan Street. I'm here tonight. First of all, I hate to hear that people are coming up here with comments that they've not been heard. I'm feeling the same way. I'm here tonight to thank, first of all, that we are looking at doing a zoning and that we are looking to do something to better our city. But are we doing this to just put forth rules that aren't going to be followed? Are we going to put this together to where people like myself are frustrated with, currently when I come to administration with issues, in particular, right traffic control at the corner of South Logan and Cleveland Street, which has just gone awry until I finally got upset over hearing vehicles starting at 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning, Scorpion trucks going off. This winter, we had over 20 vehicles in the parking lot all winter long. I get improvement, and I get all of that. I want to see that, but I don't think we can stand up here and everybody can make complaints, but if it's not being, if rules are not being put in force and they're not being enforced and they're not being complied with, and we don't have people that are watching over those things, why does it really matter? So way back when Mr. Lippian was running, he came to my front door. I complained about a few things. Those things are still going on, in particular 275, which is a scrap yard that has been going on for years. Everything from vagrant people living there to trash that blows all over the place. I have lived at these two residences as a homeowner for over 30 years, and I've watched nothing but me trying to keep my neighborhood clean, me picking up the garbage that's blowing out the dumpsters, which Right Traffic Control still has their dumpster in the location that it is. With this weekend, it was just awry with all the wind blowing. But it's like, as a resident, I care. I pick up the trash. I care about my fellow residents. I care about what moves next door to me, such as a drive-through. So we can have all these things in place, but are they adhered to? Are you as council people going through your neighborhood and looking and saying, wow, that looks like trash. What's going on there? Let's get that taken care of. And when I first approached, which the questions on the questionnaire that I had to fill out tonight was asking me who all I have contacted. I've contacted every single person through one way, shape, or form, from the police department to members of all the departments.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
You've reached your 3-minute time limit.
I think I've said what I need to say. I hope that in everything that you guys, if you put something forward, that you abide by it, that it's not just put forward to make residents feel like they're not heard, because that's what we're hearing tonight.
Thank you very much. Hi, please give your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Kim Langard, and I am the owner of Lang Optical Incorporated at 280 South Logan Street in Elyria. We have been at that location since 1979. I'm a second-generation owner. I bought the business from my parents. I've been running it for almost 30 years. I'm here to let you know about a property at 275 South Logan Street, which is across the street from my business, and is not being used in the manner that aligns with the R2 zoning district that it is located in. Or maybe not even in the proposed zoning code that you are going to be voting on. Nowhere in the proposed zoning code does it say that trashed or scrapyard or abandoned vehicles, boats, can be put into that district, into that R2 district. And that is what my patients see as they pull out of my driveway from this office. That is what they look at, okay? It's a scrapyard or a junkyard. Okay, it has no running water, and there are people that are living there. It does have electricity when it's working. Cats, animals run around. It just is not what I would consider appropriate for a business, to be honest, for people to look at and stuff. I'm here to ask for your help to get this issue addressed and to get it cleaned up before you vote on new zoning. The current zoning isn't even working for this location. I am aware that the city prosecutor's office handles a lot of these violations of these zoning codes for sanitation and health codes as well. I did contact the building department today, and it then transferred me to the law department and then back to the building department saying that this, I think, property is now in the court system. I don't know exactly what that means or what that entails, but we've been dealing with this for over 10 years. And it has gotten worse. We've even had to call the police from the people living there who have come out high on drugs to our patients' cars and to our building. Okay, I don't really want to move, but if it comes to that, we're going to have to move. Councilman Lippian, hopefully that you can help us get this problem solved. Who should I follow up with? You? Okay. Anything that you guys can do before you vote on a new zoning for that area, I'd say let's get this zoning issue fixed first before we vote on a new one. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Madam President, we did receive an email, or actually, Councilman Schneider received an email from Carol and Tony Gallardo, and it was supported by Anita and Kevin Shepard. If I will, I would read this. She's not able to attend tonight's meeting. She owns property on Middle Avenue and 4th Street in the historic district within a couple of the other neighborhoods. A few years ago, I volunteered and co-chaired the neighborhood committee for the 2015 plan. That plan required an assessment to be done so that the city could apply for grants to cover some of the cost. Recently, another assessment was completed, and they came up with just about the same things except for this corridor zoning because it has worked in other areas. As we all know, the major thing that came out of that plan was the new high school. Nothing we suggested even was addressed. At that time, they suggested changing the Middle Avenue area to neighborhood zoning instead of GB, which is general business. If I remember right, there was no plan for the other areas except for the mall. My point is changing things around without the city having a plan makes no sense. But maybe there is a plan that we really don't know about. If so, let us know. If not, why waste money and time? When I see what you are saying about the areas that you want to change, I am dumbfounded. Can you imagine what home businesses would pop up on 4th Street that is like a thoroughfare for Elyria residents and life care? Good grief. And what about the houses on Middle Avenue? May I remind you of the houses that have empty lots across from the high school? A permanent garage sale for a drug house. Seriously? And who would support this type of business? Certainly not anyone who lives outside the city. It is hard enough to get our residents to support our own businesses. I would like to go on and talk about a few other things such as the mall, but last representative of the city, please consider a waste of time This idea is without a plan and funds to support it by the city. Thank you, Carol and Tom Gallardo, and Anita and Kevin Shepard.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I declare that this public hearing has been held.
Sponsored by Strategic Planning, an ordinance amending certain provisions of the Elyria Codified Ordinance, Part 11, Planning and Zoning Code, to be effective May 1st, 2026.
Mrs. Davis.
Madam President, I ask this ordinance be passed on its first reading,
Third.
on its third reading, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Is there any further discussion?
Question.
On the passage, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried.
We have one day. Motion carried. It's ordinance 2026-32.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Remarks and reports from city officials. Mayor Brubaker.
Yes, Madam President, thank you. Just a reminder, tomorrow is the State of the City at the college, so thank you for those that are able to attend.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mayor Brubaker? Safety Service Director, Mr. Pianowski.
Thank you. Through you. The Hometown Heroes Banners program started today. It was in the paper on Friday, but we started taking applications today. Some of the banners last year were hung for their third year, so that's how long you get when you apply. You get a 3-year span, assuming the banner doesn't get tore up by the wind or something to that effect. So those banners that have been up for 3 years will not be hung again, but we'll reach out to the sponsors and give them the opportunity to come and pick them up. And then that'll create some new spaces for new participants. The cost, again, is $35, and that is supplemented by the Elyria Council of Veterans, so we thank them again for helping with the cost and keeping the cost low for residents. So the application's available on the city website. I also sent it out to all of the council members just about a half hour before the meeting started. If you have any questions, Whitney in our office oversees that program for us and does a nice job.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Pianowski? Mr. Armstrong.
Through you, Madam Chair, or Madam President. Is there any update on 1415 Middle Ave, Director? Starting to get even,
Yes.
yes.
Through you, there is an update. The Lorraine County Land Bank is going to take that property down for us. They have completed their asbestos assessment, and I believe it was just last week did their walkthrough with their contractors. They walk whoever might be interested in bidding on the demolition through the property, and then they give them the opportunity to bid. So it's moving along. The county is going to take down that property for us and also the Little Brown Jug on Cleveland Street, which the city recently acquired through the foreclosure process. So it's moving. Once they secure a contract, I probably will be able to get you a date of when they anticipate that coming down.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Oswald.
Through you, Madam President. Question, we tore down a house on, I think it's Cedar Street on the curve. And I was wondering, because that name come up and somebody that owed a delinquent water bill, because they have numerous, was there any way that we were able to get some of the money back, or did that cost us? Do you know where we stand as far as that, if it's cost the city?
I can answer that for you. Through you, so that we were able to secure a judgment against that property owner. Now we have taken that judgment and we are filing, or have filed, a foreclosure. First, we got a lien against all of his property in Lorraine County. So once we get the judgment, we get a certificate of judgment, and it creates a lien against any property he owns in Lorraine County. We've now identified the properties that we thought best to go and foreclose upon, and we filed that. And we're also looking to file a lien in Texas where his residence is, which is a pretty nice property. So we're taking all actions to collect that lien and that judgment that we now have. So yes, we're working on that, and I anticipate we'll be successful. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Lippian.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President, since one of the residents brought it up, a couple of the residents brought it up, I know I've sent some emails in the past, maybe across two administrations, about that dump site by South Logan. Can you comment on that a little bit and just what we can do about it as a city, right off the rip?
Through you, I'm sorry, which South Logan property are you referring to? 275? So it's currently, I believe it's currently has a pending case in municipal court for building code violations. I do know that I've met with Mr. Farkas on it a couple of times and had conversations about enforcement actions. I believe that it's currently pending in Elyria Municipal Court. So that process does take a little bit of time, but unfortunately, when somebody doesn't respond to the correspondence we send, that is what we're working on. So it is in process. We're aware of it as we are about the 285 South Logan right traffic control. We've been out there a number of times. I've met with Mr. Schoening and Mr. Farkas a number of times about it, but sometimes getting compliance isn't as easy as we'd like it to be, but we're working on them.
Any other questions? Law Director Deary.
Through you, Madam President, just to piggyback, I would confirm the foreign judgment actually has been filed in Texas against the property owner, Mr. Kalasa. He's the one who owns that, well, now vacant lot on Cedar Street. Between that judgment to recoup our demo costs and the foreclosure that has been filed, we are, can't make any guarantees, but we're increasing the probability that we will recoup our money from those property owners. So I will keep you updated as I have information on that. As far as the days in property, the Court of Appeals has finally issued its ruling. They have remanded the case back to the trial court to reconsider the receiver's appointment. We did have a telephone status conference on that matter with all of the attorneys last week. We have another one set for the end of this month. There will be a series of motions filed on that case. In the meantime, there is an administrative proceeding that is parallel to that with respect to the repair and demolish order that has been lingering, and we will be addressing that as well. So hopefully I will have some updated information for you within the next month or so. We have not yet heard anything with respect to the bistro on Taylor Street's Liquor Control Commission hearing, but again, when that administrative hearing was finished, and that was March 3rd, the hearing officer did inform my office that it would likely be about 45 days, and so we're not at that point yet. So, but as soon as we hear anything, we'll let you know about that.
Thank you. Any questions for the Law Director? Thank you. Finance Director, Mr. Pileski.
Thank you, Madam President. No report this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Van Wormer.
Madam President, just as we get ready to go and approve the budget this evening, I just wanted to thank Director Pileski for answering so many questions and being active in the process, and, you know, looking forward. It's going to be our responsibility to find some new creative ways to generate some revenue. I'm happy to see a referral on the list for selling some water to another community. So things like that, and just more creative ways for us to produce revenue for the city to ensure that make his job a little easier. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lithium.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President. Mr. Finance Director, I too want to thank you. You made some time out of your considerably scant availability, given the budget cycle, to sit down with me and go through the budget. I know many other members of council as well, so thank you for that. One of the things we talked about was reciprocity, and since we met, I thought I would ask a question. Do we know how many cities in Ohio have 100% reciprocity? And I think I've got it right, that reciprocity is where those that work outside the city do not pay income tax unless the income tax rate in the city they work at is less than Illyria's, at which case they pay the difference. I'm just kind of wondering how many other cities in Ohio use that, especially as we think about the budget going forward in the future.
Thank you, through you, Madam President. Yes, you're correct. That's the definition of reciprocity. How many cities? I will have to, you know what, I'll get with the Regional Income Tax Agency, who handles quite a few cities across the state of Ohio, and try to determine how many there are that give 100%. I don't imagine there are a lot of them, but we are one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Finance Director.
We're
That'd be great.
100% up to 2.25%. So if a resident works in a community, like you said, that has a lower rate than 2.25, they pay the difference to Elyria.
Great, thank you, sir. Yeah, email would work great for that response, and a follow-up meeting would be great too. Always happy to learn from you. You're a wealth of knowledge. We're lucky to have you. Thank you.
Any other questions for the Finance Director? Police Chief Walsh.
Madam President, no new report from department, but I'm certainly available.
Mr. Van Warmer.
Just wanted to say thank you, through you, Madam President. Just want to say thank you for the wonderful ceremony Sunday afternoon. It was great to celebrate the life of Officer Kerstetter, Sergeant Kerstetter, and glad to once again be a part of that presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Chief Walsh. Fire Chief Fargo. Could you come, Mr. Vargo? Could you? We want to see you. This is your first report.
I apologize, thank you. I wanted to take this opportunity, it was important to me to thank EPD, the building department, Life Care, Lorain County Dispatch, and the guys that came in Friday for the storm, and the guys that were on shift. Through this collaboration, we were able to mitigate 75 calls for service, which is pretty huge, while minimizing delays to other calls for service. So that was something to be proud of. Now, for the big news, I invite the administration, council, members in the community, members watching. We have a police versus fire blood drive, and it's going to be April 3rd from 8 to noon. I encourage you to come to Station 1, not EPD, okay? Because what this gives us is bragging rights. Whoever wins gets to be the best safety forces in the history of Elyria. And so we would like to take that honor. The winner will also receive a trophy and a gift card sponsored by Human Resources. Thank you, and I'm sorry for the misunderstanding.
Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions for Chief Fargo? That sounds very exciting. Assistant Safety Service Director Culvert. Is she still back there? I think she left. Okay. Building Chief, Mr. Farkas.
Thank you, Madam President, through you. Updates on the demolition. The process has been in motion in preparation of the budget approval. We have 185 Roosevelt is slated for demolition. Contracts have been signed and almost near completion for asbestos abatement. 204 Lake Avenue, that is also a pretty large home that is also on the agenda, and 360 South Maple. As mentioned, 1415 Middle was taken over by the Land Bank, which is good. We have about another half dozen homes that are on our list to investigate for potential demolition. We had one on 311 Branston that was on the list, near demolition, but the ownership sold it and someone has rehabbed it and has saved the property, so that one was saved. Regarding the right traffic control, I just heard news today from one of my inspectors that they are leaving that facility and they are relocating. So that complaint should solve itself in time. And other than that, construction is going full steam. We haven't slowed down.
Great. Any questions for Mr. Farkas? Mrs. Davis.
Through you, Madam Chair. The house on Parmley that caught on fire. I see a lot of movement there. But no movement that's progressing. It's just moving stuff around, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good to the neighborhood. So is there any word on, are they going to try to repair it, or are we going to demo?
Madam President, through you, Mrs. Davis, we have condemned that structure due to the severe fire. The ownership had vested interest in doing a demolition of the building. Unfortunately, they wanted to demo a small portion in lieu of the entire structure. We are actively pursuing that to resolve that case.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Farkas. Engineer Schneider, I apologize, I missed you. You might as well come up. Mr. Oswald.
Through you, Madam President. So Gulf Road heading north, if you pass 57 where EC is, we got 4-lane road. And the 2 right lanes heading north, the intersection at Hilliard's very dangerous. I know we're in a process when it gets warm to put the good, expensive striping down the road. What's the odds of getting some really good striping with an arrow so people know to turn right onto Hilliard, the left lane goes straight? That's always confusing. I'm afraid somebody's going to get killed one at a time. I've had some help, somebody getting a sign up for the directions, but is that something that we would have to do more to put, help me out here? What can we do?
Through you, Madam President, I can't remember where the exact limits of the resurfacing stopped. If there's a spot within there that we're going to put arrows, yes, we'd put arrows in there if it makes sense, I guess. I just can't remember where exactly we stopped. Typically, existing pavement markings are handled by the street department. To use the thermoplastic type pavement markings out there on a roadway that's not in good shape, it typically doesn't hold up well. So we will have to look at that and see what we can do over there. But we did put up some new signage.
Thank you, Mr. President. So could you put your notes together and to make sure that there's follow through and get something, if we can take care of that?
Yeah, we'll look into it, yes.
All right, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Schneider?
Madam,
Mr. Lippian?
thank you, Madam President, through you. Engineer Schneider, I was just checking, is there a status on the Ford Road and West River road fix there? I know the lane's been closed for, feels like forever, but I don't know if you just give a status update on that while you're up here. Thank you.
No problem. Through you, Madam President. Just the other week, I met with a geotechnical engineer out there, and they gave us a proposal, which I talked with the service director. We're going to move forward with as far as doing some investigation on the road itself to see what we can and can't do. I'll just be honest, it's not going to be a cheap fix, but we still have to do something no matter what, because there is an issue there that could get worse and over time could possibly migrate over toward Golden Corral, so.
Mr. Lippian?
Through you, Madam President, thank you. While we've got the engineer here, Engineer Schneider is wondering if you had an update on the Safe Routes to School grant. Any word from the feds yet on taking the next steps towards completion this year?
I know we have received some notification from them. They needed one more piece of paper from us in order for us to go out for bid. So, or I should say, to get authorization from the federal government to go out for bid. So,
Any other questions for Engineer Schneider? Thank you, sir.
thank you.
City Planner, Mr. Schoenig. Thank you. I just want to say thank you for all the hard work and time that you put into the zoning, so thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Schoenig? Thank you. I think I got everyone. President's referrals and remonstrances. Number 1, to Community Development Finance. Number 2, Finance. Number 3, Finance. Number 4, Finance. Number 5, Finance. Number 6, Finance. Number 7, Finance. Number 8, Finance and Utilities. Number 9, Finance and Utilities. Items 10, received and placed on file in the clerk's office. Mr. Clerk, petitions and remonstrances from the lobby.
We have one, Ms. Cynthia Aguilar Weatherby. Subject is stormwater.
Good evening. Please give your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Cynthia Aguilar Weatherby, and I live at 136 Eastern Heights Boulevard.
Thank you. I would say hard to hear.
I have tried to present this problem a couple years back. Our neighbors, not at 134, but on the other side of our house at 136, they own a duplex, which they sold to a man named George. I don't know his last name, but I'm sure you can get it off the auditor's website. And he rents his properties, and we try to go to him and speak to him just as neighbor to neighbor to see if he can move his storm drain to the front of his house, because if you pass through 136, you'll see that 136 is the lowest property on Eastern Heights on the 100 block, and we get all the water that comes off the house. And my husband said, why don't we try to build a French drain together, trying to solve the problem? And he said, no, you can build it yourself, and I will not move the, just the small little thing. And so we presented this to Mr. Lippian. He did address it, and he proceeded to then send it to Mr. Brubaker, and he also did address it. And the gentleman, Mr. George, he said, well, I got this letter from city, and I'm not doing anything about it. No one can tell me what to do. This is my property. So when they said that there was going to be a big storm this week, first of all, I bought the thing for him, and we went and we put it on so that it just wouldn't come over to our house. But I went and I moved it over, and they moved it right back. I never would have done that, but they said that there was going to be a massive winter storm. So if they can please address this. It's such an easy fix. I mean, I was able to fix it by just moving it over. The thing is, I have no authority. I'm a resident. We've moved there since 2008. We'll be living there for 18 years. So if something can be done about it, I mean, the gentlemen, they don't take care of the front of the house. I'm usually the one picking up, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to see if they can please move this little storm thing over to the front of their house. That's all. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Would that be Mr. Farkas, Mayor?
Madam Chairman, through you to Ms. Aguilar. Can you come, I just want to verify, your address is 136, the issue address is 134, correct?
No, it's the one on the other side, but yes, our address is 136.
Okay,
The house with the red roof.
okay, and the address of the offending house, is that, I thought you said 134?
No, those are our other neighbors.
Okay.
I don't know the address. I would assume, which I don't want to, but
We'll get that, that's not a problem. We'll get it addressed through the building department and safety service director's office.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Clerk, are there any more?
Oh, sorry. That's all. The petitions from the lobby.
Petitions and remonstrances from council members?
We have one, Councilman Lympian, honoring our heroes.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President and Mr. Clerk. I rise today to honor our Ohio Air National Guard heroes. As many may have heard, roughly a week ago, tragically, a KC-135 aircraft mishap resulted in a crash. We lost 6 airmen, 3 of whom were from the great state of Ohio. These are fathers, husbands, brothers. We have flags at half staff outside City Hall today. At the request of Governor DeWine to honor them, I would like to name them. Their names are now publicly released. Captain Seth Koval, 38, of Stoutsville, Ohio. Captain Curtis Angst, 30 years old. And Technical Sergeant Tyler Simmons, 28, both of Columbus, Ohio. These are American heroes, and I hope that City Council would join me in a brief, reflective moment of silence in honor of their sacrifice. We honor our fallen heroes and their families. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lithian. We appreciate their sacrifice.
That's all petition and remarks from council members.
Reports of reports of standing and special committees.
There are none.
Resolutions, first reading.
Sponsored by Community Development, a resolution commemorating the 250th anniversary sesquicentennial of the founding of the United States of America.
Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I ask that this resolution be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second.
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 2026-8. Sponsored by Finance, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Ohio Department of Transportation for improvements to State Route 57 and Abbey Road North and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Tolet.
Madam President, I ask that this resolution be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules and declared an emergency.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? On the emergency, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 2026-9. Sponsored by Finance, a resolution approving a list submitted by the Safety Service Director for the collection of delinquent inactive utility accounts and directing the clerk of accounts to certify said accounts to the Lorraine County Auditor.
Mr. Tolet.
Madam President, I ask that this resolution be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any other discussion?
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 2026-10. Sponsored by Finance, a resolution finding that the city has unfit for municipal use certain city property.
Mr. Tolet.
Madam President, I ask that this resolution be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second. Any other discussion?
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 2026-11. That's all resolutions first reading.
Resolutions second reading.
There are none.
Resolutions third reading.
There are none.
Ordinances first reading.
Sponsored by Finance, an order authorizing the Safety Service Director of the City of Elyria to dispose of city property that is unfit for municipal use.
Mr. Tolet.
Madam President, I ask that this ordinance be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion?
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ordinance 2026-33. Sponsored by Finance, an ordinance authorizing the permanent appropriations of the City of Elyria, Ohio for the tax for the year 2026.
Mr. Tolet.
Madam President, I ask that this ordinance pass in its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any further discussion?
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ordinance 2026-34. Sponsored by Community Development and Finance. An ordinance authorizing the transfer of certain vacant land, real property from the City of Elyria to the Elyria Community Improvement Corporation.
Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I ask that this ordinance be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Any discussion?
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Ordinance 2026-35. Sponsored by Community Development and Finance, an ordinance authorizing the transfer of certain vacant land, real property, from the City of Elyria to Elyria Community Improvement Corporation.
Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I ask that this ordinance be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion?
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ordinance 2026-36. Sponsored by Community Development Finance, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a real property purchase agreement for a certain vacant lot on Woodford Avenue, Elyria, Ohio, 44035.
Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I ask that this ordinance be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second.
Question.
No, hold on, I'm sorry, you second, okay.
Yes.
It's been moved and properly second. Is there any further discussion?
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ordinance 2026-37. Sponsored by Finance and Community Development, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a real property purchase agreement for a certain vacant lot on Woodford Avenue, Elyria, Ohio, 44035.
Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I ask that this ordinance be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Rothgary. Any further discussion?
Question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ordinance 2026-38. Sponsored by Utilities, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the 2026th Street resurfacing project and declaring an emergency.
Mrs. Davis.
Madam President.
Number 12.
Is so excited about the streets. Yes.
I've rubbed off on her.
I move that this ordinance be. Move that this ordinance be moved under the suspension of rules. And I move that this ordinance be passed under suspension of rules and declaring an emergency.
Amen. Amen. Can I get a second? Mr.
Second.
Armstrong is second. Is there any further discussion?
Call for the question.
On the suspension, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On the emergency, I'm sorry, I'm so tickled. On the emergency, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? On the passage, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Hey, for the streets.
Ordinance 2026-39. That's all ordinances first reading?
Ordinance is second reading.
There are none?
Ordinance is third reading.
There are none.
Committee calls.
Utilities, request the committee members, the mayor, the law director, finance director, safety service director, engineer, on Wednesday, March 18th, 2026, beginning at 6 p.m. in council chambers. Finance requests the committee members, the mayor, the law director, finance director, safety service director, engineer, on March 30th, 2026, beginning at 6 p.m. The joint community development and finance requests council members, the mayor, the law director, finance director, safety service director, the engineer, to meet on Monday, March 30th, 2026, immediately following the finance meeting. Strategic planning requests all council members, the mayor, safety service director, finance director, law director, in council chambers Monday, April the 6th, 2026, immediately following the full council meeting. That's all committee calls.
Thank you. Miscellaneous and unfinished business? Seeing none, Mrs. Davis.
Madam President, seeing no other business before this council, motion to dismiss.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Good night, everyone.